Hello friends, in this lecture we shall discuss Volterra integral equations and its basic concepts. Now first I will tell you what is an integral equation. Definition: an integral equation is an equation in which an unknown function appears under an integral sign. For example, yx equal to the integral from a to b kxt yt dt, yx equal to fx plus the integral from a to b kxt yt dt, and yx equal to the integral from a to b kxt yt square dt. These are integral equations where the function yx is the unknown function and all the other functions are known. These functions may be complex values functions of the real variable x and t. Now, an integral equation is called linear if only linear operations are performed upon the unknown function. So here we see that the equation 1 and 2 are linear and equation 3 is non-linear. Now, the most general linear integral equation is of the form gx into yx equal to fx plus lambda, the integral from a to b kxt yt dt. This equation is denoted by 1, where fx, gx and kxt are known function and yx is unknown function. Lambda is a non-zero real or complex parameter. The function kxt is called the kernel of the integral equation. Now if fx equal to 0 in this equation, then this equation is called homogeneous integral equation. Now if A is constant and B equal to variable x, then the equation 1 is called the Volterra integral equation. Now if A and B both are constants, then equation 1 is called the Fredholm integral equation. A linear integral equation of the form gx yx equal to fx plus lambda, the integral from a to x kxt yt dt is called a Volterra integral equation of third kind. If gx is equal to 0, then this equation is called Volterra integral equation of first kind, and if gx equal to 1, then this equation is called Volterra integral equation of second kind. Fx plus lambda, the integral from a to x kxt yt dt equal to 0, and is called the Volterra equation of first kind. If gx equal to if gx equal to 1, then the equation two yx equal to fx plus lambda, the integral from a to x kxt yt dt is called the Volterra integral equation of second kind. Now, what is a singular integral equation? When one or both limits of integration become infinite or when the kernel become infinite one or more points within the range of integration. Then the integral equation is known as singular integral equation. For example, the integral equations yx equal to fx plus lambda, the integral minus infinity to infinity exponential of minus modulus of x minus t yt dt and fx equal to the integral from 0 to x 1 upon x minus t raised to the power alpha yt dt. Here the limit of integration are infinite, and here the kernel be infinite at the upper limit. So these are singular integral equations. Now we define some special kind of kernels. First, separable or degenerate kernel. A kernel KXT is called separable or degenerate if it can be expressed as the sum of a finite number of terms each of which is the product of a function of x only and a function of t only, that is kxt equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n aix bit. Here the function aix can be assumed to be linearly independent, otherwise the number of terms in this relation can be reduced. Second, symmetric kernel. A complex valued function kxt is called symmetric or Hermitian if here the asterisk denotes the complex conjugate. For real kernel, kxt equal to ktx. For example, sin x plus t and x square t square plus xt plus 1 are symmetric kernels. Now I will tell you Leibniz rule of differentiation under integral sign. Let f(xt) and the partial derivative of f with respect to x be continuous functions of both x and t, and the first order derivatives of gx and hx be continuous, then d by dx of the integral from gx to hx fx comma t dt is equal to the integral from gx to hx, the partial derivative of the integrand fxt with respect to x dt plus the value of integrand at the upper limit of the integral into the derivative of upper limit with respect to x minus the value of integrand at the lower limit of the integral and the derivative of lower limit with respect to x. Now in particular, if gx and hx are constants, then d by dx of the integral from gx to hx fxt dt equal to the integral from gx to hx del by del x of fxt dt. Since if gx is constant, then dgx by dx equal to 0 and hx is constant, then dhx by dx equal to 0. So we have the integral gx to hx del by del x of fxt dt. Now we will prove an important result for converting a multiple integral into a single integral. The result is n times differentiation of yx from x naught to x with respect to x equal to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial, the integral from x naught to x minus t yt dt, where n is a positive integer and x naught is a constant. Proof. To prove this result, let us take Inx equal to this integral from x naught to x minus t raised to the power n minus 1, here power n minus 1, yt dt. This equation is denoted by 1. Now, by Leibniz rule, differentiating this equation with respect to x, we have the integral from x naught to x, the partial derivative of the integrand with respect to x dt plus the value of integrand at the upper limit of the integral and the derivative of upper limit with respect to x minus the value of integrand at the lower limit into the derivative of lower limit with respect to x. This is equal to n minus 1, the integral from x naught to x minus t raised to the power n minus 2 yt dt plus 0 minus 0, because here x minus x equal to 0, so this term becomes 0, and here the derivative of constant with respect to x equal to 0, so this term becomes 0, so we have plus 0 minus 0. Now this implies din by dx equal to n minus 1. This integral can be written as from equation 1. Here n is strictly greater than 1. Now put n equal to 1 in the equation 1. We get I1x equal to the integral from x naught to x yt dt. Again, using Leibniz rule, Differentiating this equation with respect to x, we have di1 by dx equal to the integral from x naught to x del by del x of yt dt plus yx dx by dx minus yx naught dx naught by dx. Here d by dx of x equal to 1. So here we have yx, and here d by dx of x naught equal to 0. So this term becomes 0, and del by del x of yt equal to 0. So this integral becomes 0. So we have di1 by dx equal to yx. Now differentiating equation 2 successively k minus 1 times, we get dkin by dxk equal to n minus 1, n minus 2 up to and so on n minus k I n k, n is greater than k. This equation is denoted by 3. Take k equal to n minus 1, then dn minus 1 in upon dxn minus 1 equal to n minus 1, n minus 2 up to and so on 1 into I1. This implies dn minus 1 in by dxn minus 1 equal to n minus 1 factorial into I1. This equation is denoted by 4. Now again differentiating with respect to x, we have dn by dxn of in equal to n minus 1 factorial d by dx of in. This is equal to n minus 1 factorial into yx. Since di1 by dx equal to yx, so here we take di1 by dx equal to yx. This equation is denoted by 5. Now from equation 1, 3 and 4, we see that Inx and its first n minus 1 derivatives are 0 at x equal to x naught. So if Inx and I1x equal to 0 at x equal to x0, then from equation 3 dk in by dxk equal to 0, since in minus k equal to 0 because k is less than n. Also from equation 4, dn minus 1 in by dxn minus 1 equal to 0, since inx I1x equal to 0 at x is equal to x naught. So go back in equation 1 and there we'll see that inx and I1x equal to 0 at x equal to x naught. Now in equation 1, if we take x equal to x naught, then the lower and upper limit of the integral is same, then the value of this integral becomes 0. So I and x naught equal to 0. And here I1 x naught is also 0. If we take x equal to x naught, then the lower and upper limit both become same. So the value of this integral becomes 0. Hence I1 x naught equal to 0. So we have equation from equation 1, 3 and 4, inx and its first n minus 1 derivatives are 0 at x equal to x naught. Now we go back the equation di1 by dx equal to yx integrating with respect to x from x naught to x, we get the integral from x naught to x t by dx of I1 dx equal to the integral x naught to x yx dx. I1x minus I1 x naught, this is equal to the integral from x naught to x yx dx. Since I1 x naught equal to 0 from 1, so I1 x equal to the integral from x naught to x yx dx. Now take n equal to 2 in equation 5 and integrate twice, we get I2x equal to the integral from x naught to x, the integral from x naught to x yx dx. Proceeding in this manner, we get inx equal to n minus 1 n times differentiation from x naught to x of yx with respect to x. So this implies the n times differentiation from x naught to x of yx with respect to x is equal to 1 upon n minus 1 factorial the integral x naught to x minus t raised to the power n minus 1 yt dt. This result we shall use when we deal initial value problems. Thank you for your attention.